On this question, I'm going to do a little bit of extra work and give you reminders about how you would write the equation of a perpendicular bisector. So perpendicular bisector needs to pass through the midpoint and have perpendicular. So this is opposite reciprocal slope. To this line segment CA. So let's show calculation of the midpoint. You could also find the midpoint graphically here by trying to use rise over run. And in this case, well, finding the midpoint is a little bit tricky because it's right here. So it's easy to see the x value, but it's a little bit trickier to see the y value. You could probably still figure it out, even graphically. But let's find the midpoint of this using the midpoint formula. So we're looking at x1 plus x2. We do plus for the midpoint because we have to find an average, and when we find the average of things, we have to add, then divide by the number of items. Then y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, so now let's substitute for the x values. You have negative 5 and 1. So that's negative 4 over 2. So that's x equal negative 2. Substitute for the y values and look at 4 and 1. And this is, obviously, this is pretty easy. So this is 5 over 2. If you like decimals, it's 2.5. And you can leave it as 2.5. You can leave it as 5 over 2. And you're perfect. Okay, so now we need to know the slope of CA so that we can then do the opposite reciprocal slope. So the slope of CA, and I like to do that right on the grid as opposed to using any kind of slope formula. That's just my preference. So you see we're going down from 4 to 1. So that's down 3. And we're going right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get from C to A. So my slope is down 3 over right 6. Always go to the right with slope. So this is negative, because of down, 1/2. So that means that the slope of our perpendicular bisector will need to flip and change the sign. So the slope of the perpendicular bisector is positive 2. Now to write the equation for the perpendicular bisector, now I'm going to refresh your memory with point slope form of the line. And we know we go through this coordinate negative 2, 2.5. So I can say y equals slope of 2 times. Now this says go left 2. It's tricky to remember that left 2 with the x in point slope form. This is only in point slope form. It is x plus 2. That says go left 2. And then comma 2.5. So this is plus 2.5. And you could leave it like that. You can simplify it into mx plus b. So see that this is 2x plus 2 times 2. So 2x plus 4. And then that plus 4, then plus 2.5, so plus 6.5. And that gives you the equation of the perpendicular bisector. Like that. Obviously, the answer to the question is 2, the slope of the perpendicular bisector.